Welcome back to Independent Blazers. I'm Dan,
I'm Joe.
and today we're going to talk about working in Thailand. But before we do,
Yeah. Please like, subscribe, share, and bang that notification button. It helps us out, but it also helps you out. Please share with your family and friends. And like Dan just said, the topic today, and some people have asked me, and I have to confess, we were talking about topics, and I was thinking about what to do. One of the topics people have asked, how do I get out of the rat race? A couple people in America asked me that. Thailand could be a difficult place, folks, to get a job. It can be difficult if you get a job with a multinational company, but it can be done. And so we're going to tell you a few things today. Now, Dan and I are experienced in this first one we're going to tell you. Teaching English in schools. Years ago, this is what I did. Dan, how about you?
I did not teach in schools. I taught at language centers.
Oh, language centers. Still, nonetheless. Now, this job here, unless you're in an international school, the money's usually not good in a Thai school. But if you need to get by or just get some money, now they're getting more strict. But for this one, you should at least, years ago, you can get away with not having a degree. But that's starting to change. Now, teaching in a Thai school, it's not hard. But you still have to show up on time, be there, and you're really trying to get the kids to talk. And the average salary for this is I'm going to say foreigners, meaning Westerners, is between 35,000 baht and 40,000 baht. Now, fair or not, I'm not going to get into that all today. Probably for Filipinos, about 25,000, 22 to 25,000 baht, maybe 28. And again, folks, don't hit me over the head. I'm just going off an average of my experience, who I've talked to. Years ago, I did teach in the Thai schools for a while. Dan is taught in the language school, so we're just giving you that perspective. If you need to get by and have a degree, you probably need to get a TEFL certificate or what's the other one, Dan? Is it TEFL? Yes. And if you need to get by, this is probably one of your best bets. The language school. Dan, tell us about the language school.
Okay, it depends. Now, some language schools pay very poorly, like $10, 10 US dollars an hour, if or less, they can get away with it. But some pay quite nice. Some pay like double that, but you have a lot higher standards to live up to.
Yes.
And they expect a lot more, and they're a lot stricter, and the whole bit.
Now,
So, I tell you though.
Go ahead.
One thing it's good to do in advance, if you're not yet in Thailand, but you have your degrees, try to get them notarized at a Thai embassy or consulate, because it's very, very, very difficult to do.
Right, exactly. And keep in mind, folks, also, when it comes to the Thai schools, sometimes you can get a direct hire, other times you go through a teaching agency. Now, if you want names of some teaching agencies, I'm not going to say them online here, but you can maybe contact us through our Independent Blazers email, and maybe we'll tell you some. But keep in mind, you probably need a work permit for this one here. Keep it above board. But yes, now there's other kinds of teaching you can do, Dan, when you're not in a classroom. It's called teaching online. A lot more people are doing this nowadays. I'll give you an example of one company. Okay, and again, they're not sponsoring us. We're just trying to help you guys and girls out there. Again, I'm not saying it's the greatest. The reason I'm going to give you this company, I know two people right now that are using this company, and they're friends of mine. It's called Cambly. Cambly. It's www.cambly.com. Now, the pay isn't the greatest. The platform primarily is geared towards adults that allow students to learn and practice speaking English by chatting with native English speakers. It pays 17 cents for every minute you chat and $10.20 an hour. Is that the greatest money? No, but it can help you supplement an income in Thailand and maybe survive as you're trying to figure out what you want to do. Now, there's other platforms out there. We don't have time to go through them all today. That's just one that I gave you. That's www.cambly.com. And again, I have friends personally that are using that to supplement their income. So you can teach out of China. There's companies out of China you can use. There's all kinds of different online teaching companies. Dan, do you know of any?
Well, actually, not that many these days. Some went out of business, like one I worked for years ago. It went out of business. But also, what's good about today is that you could work online and now get what they call a DTV, which is a
Yes.
digital nomad visa, and therefore you could legally work here and but work online and depend. Yeah, depend. Back then until recent, people had to do it low key. They had to. You could be on a tourist visa, an edu visa, or something. But see,
Now, yes. So those are a couple of kinds of jobs here you can get in Thailand. Okay. Now, so I know a lot of people, believe it or not, they become consultants. Whether it's a business consultant, whether it's, believe it or not, some people consult on food. They consult restaurants. Uh, there is a lot of, so because I would hang out with a lot of foreign. Hey, what are you doing? I'm a consultant. I'm a consultant. Sometimes if you're an expert in something, you can advertise online. There's plenty of places you can advertise, or they have some consulting companies. But consulting is another thing foreigners do here, I notice. And whatever their expertise is in, I had a friend that was consulting with Thai companies on safety procedures. It can be done. Now, you have to hustle. There's no such get rich quick scheme. We're not here to blow smoke, okay? But
nope.
yes,
But
consulting. Go ahead.
yes, another way some people do is they work for oil companies, oil rigs, because
Oh,
Thailand has, but they're
that's a
some of
multinational, but yes, they are available. But I'm gonna be honest with you, they're hard. There's only so many of those. And look, I hope you can get one of those.
yeah,
But these are one of these jobs here for people that need something to try to get their foot down on the ground here in Thailand. Consultants. I'll tell you another one. Virtual assistant. So, and again, you can look though. Believe it or not, you can find them online. A virtual assistant. There are people that need. That's becoming a big thing nowadays. Becoming a virtual assistant. Okay.
Joe, there's one thing I neglected to warn the people about who want teaching jobs here in Thailand.
What's that?
Okay, even if you are a native speaker and born and raised in a Western country, if you have, say, black skin or brown skin or of Asian descent, you're going to have to prove yourself a lot harder. They're going to try to say you're not a native speaker, even if you are. But meanwhile, somebody who is white, who is from a non English speaking country, is a native speaker because of their skin. Now, I'm not deterring people from applying. I'm saying be prepared to prove yourself more, harder, and
And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, that's true. And believe me, I am sympathetic on that. I couldn't imagine. But virtual assistant, that's becoming a popular digital nomad job. And a lot of them looking online, putting their names out there. Whatever, you could work for some company and be a virtual assistant. Now, if you're some kind of engineer, a lot of my veteran friends, they've gotten their degrees in like civil engineering and different kinds, and they're working for a stateside company, but they're over here in Thailand doing it online, and they got a digital nomad visa, and they're working for the company, making a stateside salary, and so there's a lot of people also doing that.
that's right. I mean, if you can earn a Western salary but live in Thailand, uh, assuming you don't party too hard or live too high, so you're gonna have a good life. Now, look, seriously, what is it? $15 is the minimum wage in some states. In America, well, you'll live very well here. If you work 40 hours a week, or even 30 hours a week, with $15 an hour, you're going to be quite comfortable.
Yeah, and also a lot of people have their own independent like marketing services, or they market. Some work in Facebook ads. Others do different kinds of marketing for companies where they have their marketing skills, and they do that. So I've seen a lot of expats. What do? I do digital marketing. So then again, I understand everyone doesn't have the gift to work from their computer. I'm not one of those working from my computer guys. I know enough just to be honest with the audience, I know enough just to be dangerous. But some folks have that gift of being a digital nomad. And believe me, I'm seeing it with my own eyes. A lot of people are doing it. Marketing for companies, marketing for individuals. And they're making a living here in Thailand doing it.
All right. Oh, Joe, how about YouTube influencers?
Yes, that can be done. And you say, well, Joe and Dan, you're crazy. Well, yes, maybe so. But there are people here that are YouTube influencers, social media influencers here in Thailand. They make money off Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. And I'm not saying everyone can do it. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but it's happening. And there's some people that do some side hustles. Side hustle kind of work. Like we talked about the marketing on the side or consulting on the side. I have a friend of mine, he consults once or twice a week. He's getting $150 an hour doing it. And again, I don't want to say his name or to expose him. He might not want me to. But my point is this, folks, it can be done. You got to get some elbow grease, but you can do it. Like I said, a lot of people, they want to get a little extra money. They teach. Even have people teach in Thai schools. Doesn't pay a lot, but at least it's bringing something in, like we talked about earlier.
By the way, you can't, but without a work permit, though, you can't even do freelance because you'll get caught eventually.
Yes.
And if you work without a work permit here, you can be banned for up to 5 years.
Yes. Good point, Dan. We're never going to tell you here at Independent Blazers to do things legal. So, yes, a work permit and the proper visa is a requirement for these. There's one thing we're not, like I said earlier, we're not going to blow smoke, but people are doing these jobs. I'm not saying they're getting rich off them, but they're doing it and they're living in decent condos or houses and they're making it. And so can you.
You can. So, anyway, some people retired early and they're living well on a pension, and I think that's great. And
yeah. Amen. I think it's great.
Yeah. I'm saying that out of admiration and in a good way. I'd be like, oh,
yes.
Yeah.
And again, I've had some guys in their 30s and their late 20s tell me, and look, my advice may be different from Dan's or someone else's. I always tend to tell people before you come here, yeah, there's things you can do. You're going to have to hustle. But make sure you have some money stacked up. Make sure you have a savings, okay? And again, make sure you have the money put aside for your medical expenses, for your visa, and make sure you have an exit plan if you got to leave and you have somewhere to go back to. And again, I'm saying this because the one thing we want to do in this channel is be honest with you. As you guys watch us, we care about, we don't want to mislead you in any way. Yes, can you come over here and make it? Yes, but just make sure you don't put your eggs in one basket. You have a plan. Because some people come over here with visions of grandeur and they get disappointed. Can you work here? Yes. But remember, Thailand is a protectionist society when it comes to jobs.
Indeed. And listen, those of you think, well, you know what? I have so much money saved, I think I'll just do some day labor just for fun. No. You cannot. No, seriously. Even if you are willing to accept the low wages here, you
right.
If you're a foreigner. Why? Because Thais can do that themselves, and that's how they.
Yes, a lot of the service industry jobs, waitresses, waiters, they're going to go to the Thais first. Now, are there other nationalities working in some of these the bars or restaurants? Sure, but mostly Thais. So, like construction, chances are those are Thais. Maybe some folks from other ASEAN countries. But unless you're some, multinational company, because when I see all the construction projects, I don't see a lot of foreigners from the West working them.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Maybe if like those multinational companies, they might come as supervisors or whatever, but they're not going busting.
Yeah, again, not everyone maybe has the gift to be a digital nomad, but a lot of people do. Like I said, That wasn't me. I'm a washed-up has-been sailor in the Navy.
Come on.
But I'll be up front. The digital nomad thing isn't me. But I admire a lot of you guys that have that gift. I actually admire it. So I'm envious of it because I see people working from their community. Some people do affiliate marketing with Amazon. There's other types of affiliate marketing you can do. But again, I don't think, like I said earlier in the video, these get rich quick schemes. You got to put some elbow grease in, but it can be done, and you can live in Thailand if you're willing to put the work in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. You know, one thing though, I do not recommend. Okay, some people also own their own restaurants with a Thai partner, of course, or their own bars, but it's too much of a hassle for me, and that's a whole other topic of debate. We could do an entire episode on why.
Yeah, I personally think it ties me down too much. That's why I wouldn't do it. But anyways, that like you said, that's a whole other episode. Dan, do you have anything else to add?
For this one, nope. I have said all there is to say.
Well, we thank you all again for taking the time out to watch this video, and we're really pleased that you're part of the Independent Blazer family. So again, we're going to ask you, could you please like, subscribe, share, bang the notification button, share with your family and friends. It helps us, and it also helps you. Dan?
Correct. And don't forget, grab your independent mind and blaze.
Have a great evening or day, everyone, wherever you're at.